Hi everyone, mi casa is su casa. As you can see, I'm at my house. I'm not inside the weather lab today. Just got out of church, as a matter of fact. In fact, we had a youth group meeting that was literally talking about distractions and how the basically notifications can just distract you and a lot of stuff. And at the time we're talking about that, I got a text about road conditions, someone asking about that, and at the same time got the upgrade to the winter storm warning. So yesterday we were talking about the difference between the winter weather advisory, the winter storm warning, how the snow totals were trending down. That was yesterday. We knew this is a strong system, so the potential is that things could change for sure. And so I wanted to kind of run you through after church, after I just got back. In fact, I haven't even changed yet, but I want to give you an update on what you can expect because I know you might have some questions. And so we're going to kind of dive into it. One of the things that is interesting with this system is the temperatures. The temperatures are going to be borderline freezing. Now, that doesn't mean that snow can't accumulate. As you know, January 5th, we had a wave of precipitation that moved in. It was pretty heavy. It came down pretty hard. That led to accumulation, not just on secondary roads and sidewalks, but also on that main roads that caused the schools to cancel as people were driving to school. Let's get to it, show you some graphics, show you some of the modeling. And so you saw on the start of the Facebook Live, this is this massive system. So first of all, this system is intense, it's potent, it's very strong. There might even be an outside chance of some thunder snow tomorrow morning. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And because of all these things and the Weather Service seeing this increase in snow totals, they issued the winter storm warning and upgraded it from the winter weather advisory. Now let's take a look here at some of the modeling, and we're going to kind of step through each one of these. And I know you guys have questions, so and I'm just going to start right off with this graphic right here. This is a great graphic that the National Weather Service has used. I haven't even been able to make our own weather graphics. Zach Gilday is in the weather lab today. It is Sunday. Obviously, for Saturday, Sunday, my day's off, but I wanted to give you an update on what you can expect. I know people are wondering. I got a lot of questions at church as well. But there is a look at the timing of this. First of all, you don't have to worry if you're going to Super Bowl parties. There will be no snow during the evening hours. So there's one thing. You don't have to worry about snow as you're either going to or coming back from Super Bowl parties, and a lot of people excited about the game. Me as well. My wife and I were expecting to have a little party for two here at our house. I'm making some wings, and if you guys have any good recipes for wings, I was going to try them in a pressure cooker. I've heard some great things about cooking wings in a pressure cooker. I know some of you barbecue aficionados, such as Alex Bogard, you might think that that's sacrilege, but we're going to try it out. So there's the timing of this. As you can see, all the precipitation that's frozen, which is the pink stuff, is after midnight. Earlier in eastern Oklahoma, where we have a rain-snow mixture. But for the most part, this is going to be turning to snow in Fayetteville before 6 a.m. Now, what does this mean? Snow could be coming down moderately and then heavy during the morning to late morning hours. And you'll notice here, as we move into the early afternoon, still a few lingering snow showers all the way through 6 p.m. This is why the winter storm warning has been issued, and it goes until 6 p.m. So from midnight to night for 4 counties in northwest Arkansas, Benton, Washington, Carroll, and Madison counties, and we'll get to that, and I'll show you that here in just a bit. This, by the way, is NWS chat. So here's a look at the timing, the winter storm warning from midnight to 6 p.m. Again, getting these graphics off the National Weather Service. They're very informative. They're very helpful. And you see heavy snow, 4 to 6 inches. Now, I have my doubts about Washington County picking up 4 to 6 inches. And I also have my doubts about southern parts of Washington County and Madison County. And it's all because of the track. And I'll show you what I mean. But because of the potential for heavy wet snow, kind of like what we saw in 2023, January 24th into the 25th, there were some power outages. Again, you don't have to worry about this during the evening hours tonight, but it would be in the Monday morning time frame if there was the potential for some lost power. The reason for that is the trees have lost their leaves, but those evergreens, they can be weighted down even with a heavy wet snow. So this will be a very good packing snow. And then you see the pink shaded area. That is the winter weather advisory. That goes from noon until, let me see if I could adjust this. That goes until from 9 p.m. Sunday until noon Monday. So that includes Northwest Arkansas. That includes Northeast Oklahoma. Adair County is our only county in that. So Northwest Arkansas, as you can see, winter storm warning, midnight to 6 p.m. Monday. 6 p.m. is a little later. So let's go to the Weather Service's totals, and then I'm going to show you something I think really needs to be addressed with this system. The marginal temperatures, which you see that are highlighted with the dashed yellow line, means that could limit snow accumulation because it has to fall a certain rate in order for it to actually start accumulating, even with temperatures above freezing. So the farther south you go, the River Valley, if you're watching in the Fort Smith, Van Buren area, you can expect some snow to fall. I wouldn't expect a lot to accumulate, if any, honestly. It might on your car hood or your windshield, but that's about it. There's going to be a band of corridor of heavy snow, and I do think Benton County is in the bullseye of that. The farther north you go, the closer you are to the center, basically the center of the heavy banding of snow potential. But I think 4 to 6 in the Fayetteville area is a little overdone. Now, here's why I'm saying that. I'm going to show you a snowfall map. Okay, this is called the NAM 3 kilometer. And again, we're going to look at the questions. I just answered that, Kay, about the River Valley. So don't worry, you won't get a lot of snow. The cutoff is going to be very swift south of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. Now, you can see this snowfall. It's impressive, and it looks like a lot. And you go here and you go to, we're gonna zoom in a little bit on this, okay? So this is called the Kuchera snow depth. See how it has 2.1, 3.6. This is going all the way through 6 p.m. Monday. So the time of the winter storm warning. But remember, we're going to be slightly above freezing. So if that precipitation doesn't come down fast enough, it won't accumulate. It might on grassy areas, but the roads won't be an issue. It will just be wet, and you'll just be like, what's the big deal about this? Well, look at this. This is snow depth, and there's a dramatic difference. Snow depth accounts for compaction, melting. When it's above freezing, there still is a precipitation that's falling, but it's not accumulating. Now, let me zoom in on that, and let me show you the difference. And by the way, all models will be less on snow depth. So now you see 1.5 in Rogers and about an inch in Fayetteville. So our forecast was around 1 to 2 with possibly a little bit more. And then Southwest Missouri, you can see that as well. But if we go back and forth, look, snow accumulation, and which, by the way, this isn't even the 10 to 1. If we look at the 10 to 1, you're going to see dramatic amounts. And guess what? This is what the people post, these dramatic amounts. It looks like Josh Rugger just joined on, and I see him. Josh, we're going to go to you here. We're going to add you to the stage, and there you are, my man.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear
got my
you
microphone
now.
on. What's going on, man?
What you doing?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to the Colby Effects house for
Okay.
a Super Bowl party tonight down in Fayetteville, and also stay the night down there just in case with this system coming in.
Stay the night down there, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
But I've been listening in the whole time. I got done with the run about 30 minutes ago.
I need to go to the gym. I was going to go right after. It was so funny. We were in our Sunday school class, and we were talking about, of course, my Sunday school teacher, John Threed, immediately asked, how much snow are we going to get? And yeah, as soon as I walked in, it's walking into the gauntlet there. But it's understandable. It's what I do. So I told them around a couple inches, I think, in Fayetteville. And then when we were in the middle of our youth group, like advisory meeting, which we don't have very often, they're like talking about distractions and, you know, like notifications and how tough it is to actually concentrate when you have all these notifications. Well, guess what? I had the pop-up notification that we were upgraded to a winter storm warning. So
right off the bat.
Now, I will say this system is strong. And so there are surprises that could occur. but I want to show these accumulation maps versus what snow depth does, because this is going to be marginal temperatures. If we were as cold as we were in mid-January and we've got this type of system coming in, well, number one, you're not going to be, that snow ratio wouldn't be as low. It would be a lot higher. The snow wouldn't be as wet, but regardless, it would accumulate right away. Now this doesn't accumulate right away. And it's going to take some heavy banding of this snow in order for it to accumulate. And what's another thing that's interesting too is not all models are predicting the same thing. Let me go to the southern areas. So what have you seen, Josh, with the latest trends?
So I've noticed that most of the models, now not all the models, right, but most of the models have trended a little bit farther north with that track. So we've been talking about the track over the last several days, how important it is to the potential for snowfall here in northwest Arkansas. Obviously, a track that is farther south is going to lead to less snowfall because we'll have less energy to work with. We might not have heavy enough snowfall rates for the snow to start piling up and accumulating. Well, a more northerly track is going to allow for that potential for convective banding and allow for that potential for the snow to overcome the marginally freezing temperatures. So
yeah, because once it starts accumulating, then all bets are off. It'll start accumulating, and it'll be heavy enough. Now,
exactly.
Let me zoom in on this real quick. I'm looking at the latest HRRR. This is the 18Z HRRR. No, it's actually not, but it needs to be. There we go. Okay, so the 12Z was this, which was woo-wee. All right, now that's the Kuchera. We look at snow depth, and I think you're going to see a dramatic difference.
Bam.
Cut it in half. Chop it right down the middle.
Yes.
Yep. It's
That's
like
why it's
Fruit
way
Ninja.
better. Yes.
Remember, yeah, you know
I know about Fruit Ninja. Yeah. I played it on my phone.
Okay,
I also played it at the arcade.
Now we're going to go to the 18Z. And ooh, what happened there?
There's your Fruit Ninja.
Nothing.
Even more sliced
I hate winter weather. Oh, I hate winter weather so much. This is exactly
it's the worst. It's the worst. It's
total
so
pump fake right here. Someone's asking about timing, and I did this. I brought up, I love these graphics that the Weather Service had. If you missed it right off the bat, we did the timing. This is a look at when you can expect. So let's go here. What is our timeline? Sorry if I missed before. No problem, Susie. Or Susan, excuse me. Speaking of Susie, the reason I said Susie is there's a lady in my church that always prays for snow. Every time I walk in, she's like, how much snow are we going to get? How much snow are we going to get? So she loves snow. She's team snow all the time, every time. Susie Boggs is her name. And she's just such a sweetheart. She's with the Special Olympics. She does a lot of Special Olympics events. She's bocce ball genius. She'll take you down in bocce ball, and she will destroy you.
She'll teach you some lessons.
I would not play against her in bocce ball. Let me get to some of the comments here. Christopher had a good one. Dang that groundhog, he says. And he didn't quite use those words. Rachel says chores are done and getting the game ready. Hey, Alex says I'm going to smoke a couple blocks of cream cheese. Oh, I love pepper jelly and cream cheese. Yes, sir.
That sounds good.
My wife is making a taco dip. Can you imagine what locations above 2,000 feet will look like tomorrow? Great point. Because the higher up you are, the greater the elevation, obviously the colder the temperatures, and the faster it falls. It takes less time for the snow to reach the ground. Deanna, I wouldn't be worried in Texarkana, although the severe weather potential is pretty close to you. It's a little south of Texarkana, but it is something that's needed to be watched.
Yeah, there's been some tornadoes today already.
Yeah, there have been in East Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good. It's south of you.
All clear.
The threat is south of you in Texarkana, so you don't have anything to worry about. That's good. But yeah, they upgraded to an enhanced, and then they have hatched area for tornadoes. So here's the deal. This is a strong system. There's no doubt a strong system with this. So going back to timing, none of this will be before midnight. None of it. How much for Mount Magazine? Boy, not a lot, honestly. I just don't think the cold air makes it there. I think the track of the low will be farther north. In fact, let me show you what I mean by the track of the low. So this is a
Yeah.
look at, I'd loaded up the European. This is the newest 12Z European. And there you see that track of the low. This is the 500 millibar low, which is a little bit north of where you would like it to be for the heaviest snow. So the 700 millibar low is going to be stacked northwest of that. So that's moving right over the river valley. And so Harper alert, we got a Harper alert. And then that moves east, and that's going to be mainly focused across, let's say, the northwest Arkansas area and southwest Missouri. Now, if you live in Berry and McDonald County, like I just saw a comment on here from Evan Productions 102, which, by the way, my super weather kid also knows a lot about winter weather and also is a huge NFL fan. Whoops, sorry, Josh, I took you out there. He's ready for quite a bit. So
Yeah. I think Southwest Missouri is going to be in the bullseye, truth be told.
Yeah,
I think
so
current
too.
track.
Alex Bogarts had already got my bread and milk.
Well,
It's interesting that the two things that spoil the quickest, bread and milk, and you don't combine those two unless you're making French toast. I've never understood that.
I haven't either. That always interested me though. Like, why bread and milk? Where did that start? Right. I want to know the origins behind it.
Yeah.
I think this is something we could be like the why behind the weather, right?
Yeah.
Why is bread and milk loved so much?
I mean, milk, I get it because you want to have cereal and and stuff like that. But the bread, you make sandwiches. I don't know. Maybe that's something quick, easy. I have no idea. I hope we get a lot of snow this time. It's possible. It's possible. As warm as the ground is, unless it snows heavily, it would melt off the roads pretty quick. Boom. Exactly.
That was one thing I was going to mention too, Dan, about I don't think there's going to be an issue, even initially, if we have heavy snowfall rates with this snow piling up on grassy surfaces. But for the roadways, it's going to be a process because we have been so warm over the last several days.
We have.
So that's something.
However,
sure.
if we get an hour or two of thunder snow and it's snowing heavily, that's going to be an issue. And yeah, I did say thunder snow because check this out. I'm going to show you something here, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen this or not. Josh Weisel brought it to my attention because I haven't been looking at it, but that is the mostly unstable capes, and there definitely is some cape right over northwest Arkansas. And we'll look at that with a model sounding. But what's interesting is you look at this. This is pretty much classic. When this low starts evolving, watch this. Look at that low.
Wow.
That is intense.
Very
now,
intense.
When that lifts north and we get in the nose of the dry punch, that's where that thunder snow potential will be. It is not out of the realm of possibility to see thunder snow.
Yeah, we always talk about that too during the springtime when we have, severe weather makers move through the area. That initial line of storms come through, that brings the bulk of the severe weather. But then on the backside of that low pressure system, you get those occasional lightning strikes and that steady rain on the backside that the models sometimes don't pick up on. It's very similar to this.
Yeah, the stratiform rain.
Yep.
The stratiform rain and the lightning and stuff. So let's look at an actual sounding here. I'm kind of interested to look at this. Let's go look at the HRRR. We'll look at the 18Z. Now, see, that's the 10-to-1 ratio. The 10-to-1 is just it's not what it really is. We got to go to snow depth. Snow depth is like totally different. So it could be snowing heavily and a lot, but it might not be just enough to accumulate on the roads because those temperatures are going to be so borderline. But if we go to severe weather, I guess I got to zoom out. How do you not have Cape on there?
Come on, pivotal. Strange. It's a little weird.
Let's look here. Oh no, sometimes those parameters just aren't available. Yeah, see, look at all this stuff now. So let's go to mostly unstable Cape. Let's look at a forecast loop. And then we'll go through and we'll look. as it loads very slowly. Oh, yeah, so you can barely see it. The color table isn't as easy, but let's look here. So there is definitely some instability. It doesn't take much. If we click on this and we look at a sounding, there is your elevated instability, your slantwise convection, conditional symmetric instability. Got you off of there, huh?
Yeah, I think I got Colby effect.
Covered up.
Yeah, I think I got Colby,
Okay.
Colby effect there. Yeah.
But there it is. There's your slantwise convection. So how do we know about this? Well, you can see that that white dashed line. If it's to the right of the green and the red lines, which is the temperature and the dew point, that tells you that you have instability. So there is the potential for some what we call conditional symmetric instability and
What about
slantwise convection.
what about gorilla flake potential?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, massive flakes.
Yes.
And the reason for that is you've got heavy snow, but then you see it 34, 35. So it's just above freezing, those temperatures. But anyways, you kind of get the idea. So snowfall totals, this is what the Weather Service just put out, by the way, if you want to know. They have definitely upped it. And there could be locally higher amounts if there's narrow bands. If you have thunder snow, and these are all things you can't predetermine, that you can't predict. I do think, Penny, though, if this comes to fruition, and Josh will be on in the morning, I think schools are going to cancel. Not just an early release, because now the snow is later, and so it's falling throughout the late morning into the afternoon.
I agree. And we're going to have all the latest information on closings tomorrow morning as well on KNWA Today starting at 5 a.m. I know a lot of the schools, they make that decision around 5 a.m. So we're going to get all that information in as it's coming in.
Let's look at the latest European and see what it does on snow depth. So this is the snow depth, which is a little more now, 3.7 to 5.5. But a lot of people are showing this instead, the Kuchera. And which Kuchera is actually pretty good. It's not as bad. But then you look at the 10 to 1, and this is what people post all the time, 10 to 1. That's very rarely, if ever, what happens. So take that, slice it down the middle. You're too warm in the spots. It's going to be snowing. And there you can see that on average, we'll probably need to bump up our snow totals looking at the way this system is evolving and how it's behaving. But there's a look, Alex, at the latest. NAM is best with the snow and the cold, but it is not very good with the track potentially. So if we go to the NAM, you're going to see definitely a little bit of a difference in the total.
Yeah. I mean, that one has the least amount. That's
Joplin, boy. Now, Joplin could be a little too far north. That's how fine of a line this track of the low is. Jasper County, Southwest Missouri is going to get slammed. Baxter County, that looks good too. Looks like we'll get the winter storm warning. I got a flight out of X&A at 6 a.m.
Woo!
It's going to be it. Yep.
Yeah.
Jeremy said, what about anticipating closings? I think there's going to be some issues, and I especially think because it does snow before 5 a.m., and they're probably going to see the radar, and they're going to see the snow that's coming in.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that Puppy Bowl. I know, they re-air it too multiple times, and so I think that's on right now, as a matter of fact.
And by the way, happy belated birthday to Chip. He turned 10 years old on January 31st.
Nice. Where are the tornadoes, may I ask, please? They have been in Texas, and they will be in Louisiana, so in central Louisiana. Now, you didn't miss the snow totals. We had it on there. It's a big boom or bust. That's the truth. It is.
Big facts.
I don't think schools should close now. I think they can close tomorrow morning. You wake up, you see it, and then boom, you're done. How much you think for Combs, Arkansas, Josh?
Combs, Arkansas.
Yep. So that's in Madison County. Mm-hmm. It's kind of close to Crosses. It's probably going to be, I think, around 2 to 3 inches.
I would agree 2 to 3 on that side.
Yeah. I've actually saw tornado damage in Combs. Would be awesome to experience thunder snow. It'll be a close window for it overnight. If we end up having no or delayed, I may stay up to watch it. Cassville is in the bullseye.
Yeah.
Just get food you like. Yep. Baking can be fun in snowstorms. Nice. Yeah, thunder snow is not out of the question. Yeah, I think Joplin's going to be a little north of the heaviest band. So flight out at 6 a.m. We already talked about that. I think that's going to be an issue. Earthquake under my feet. Yeah. Who knows? Oh, hey, look at this. You guys thinking slantwise convection? Yep. And then we showed the reason why. Conditional symmetric instability. Look at all these people
Woo!
that know their stuff.
We got the most educated viewers right here.
And that's not crime scene investigation either. That is drinking snow. That is the truth. Pouring snow. Can't wait. The Chiefs are going to win. Ready for the Chiefs to win. How about you, Josh? Who are you for?
So here's the deal. I've got my Colts gear on right now. And as a Colts fan, well, I've grown up to kind of dislike the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm rooting for my boy Brock Purdy and the 49ers in this one.
He's a good dude, man.
I like him. Yes. Very down to earth.
No, this is definitely not going to be going to north central Alabama. Now, severe weather is. This is going to be a severe day tomorrow for you, Logan. In fact, just in case you're wondering, we can look at this here. And I know this comment's a little older, but look at the day 2 convective outlook. And there you got Alabama and right in the heart of the tornado potential. So overnight tonight and into tomorrow, you've got that tornado potential.
I think
this system will overperform in tornadoes. Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah, I would not be surprised with that day 2 outlook if there was an upgrade to an enhanced somewhere within that slight risk. That's a big slight risk. It's almost like they're setting it up to kind of see the latest trends there. I think
John's
so too.
doing a little Snoop Dogg. In the DGZ.
I like that picture, by the way, too, that they had. That's from Key West right there.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
The southernmost point on the continental 48.
Yes, sir.
Also, too, John, he ran around the Pea Ridge track. Yeah, there it says southernmost point. He was running around the Pea Ridge the junior high school football track, and we caught his lamp on our WeatherBug camera.
Nice. That's a good track. I mean, that's my old stomping grounds right there. I went to Pea Ridge.
Patty's hoping this. Good day for a hangover. It's like a lot of people are going to be partying, having fun, and then they're going to be able to sleep in if there's snow, except for
that
guy.
Yeah, this guy right here. And
that
you know
guy.
what? I'm going to go ahead and point. Wait, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and point at this guy, too, because I know you'll be up tomorrow morning watching it. Yeah.
I will. We'll just have that kitty halftime show. Gravit is in the bullseye for heavy snow. I think 4 to 5 is not out of the question for Gravit.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
And we got our Gravit WeatherBug camera working, so we're good there. Excited about that.
I'll tell you, Whitney Mountain Lodge is going to be a winter wonderland tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sure. Over Beaver
Now, what do you
Lake.
think about winds? Do you think there's going to be some strong winds with this system?
I think so, actually.
Yeah.
I would say 25, 30-mile-an-hour gust at least.
Kelsey, there's our Gravit WeatherBug network camera, by the way. We can move this, we can pan this, tilt this, so we can have a great view of the snow coming in. Love that Gravit camera because it's in Northwest Benton County, and it gets so much more than a lot of other cameras don't. Lubbock, Texas, seeing roads covered, and they have been very warm. There you go, Alex.
There's the proof. It can happen.
You know, honestly, I haven't even brought up the radar. We should bring up the radar real quick. Have you looked at it yet? What's happening in Texas?
I haven't looked at the radar. I've only looked at water vapor. So let's look out the window.
There was a tornado in East End in Hazen, Arkansas. We were watching that. In fact, on NWS chat, I was like, this looks like it's confirmed.
What about StormNet? What did that show? I bet it had it.
It did, yeah. We were watching that. I'm looking at some stuff here. 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, I think the snow will be still falling, but it's going to be a little less. So I think it starts like around 3, 4 a.m.? It depends on where you're at. Different areas or different places are going to have different stuff.
I'm going to,
Brandon said, get your butt over here.
They're ready for the life of the party. Colby needs to get me up right now. Needs the party animal there.
Late to the party. What did you miss? Well, you missed a bunch, but that's okay. You can always watch the replay. But here's the problem. Temperatures are marginal, but the snow could fall heavy enough where it accumulates. Someone asked the question, too, is there anything that predicts road conditions, what they're going to be like? That would be wonderful. But there's so many variables that go into that prediction that I just don't think that's possible. If you can come up with it, amazing.
Yeah. There kind of is with the winter storm severity index. There kind of is. But it's not.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
The winter storm severity index does have something that's like that, but it's not perfect. It changes often. And
it does.
Let's just say this. It was interesting, too. I'm going to show you something. I did not expect the winter storm warning to go out. Maybe for Benton and Carroll County, but not as far south as Washington County. And what was interesting about that is if you look at the probability, I'm going to bring this up, the probability that we have winter storm warnings that are issued was only like 10-30%. That was a 10-30% that went up pretty quick.
It did. And I just think it has to do, me personally. Yeah, it's probably way up now. Me personally, I think that they wanted to be better safe than sorry. With how intense this system is and what we're seeing on water vapor right now, there is the potential for this system to overproduce. And so I think that's why they did it.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I get that from the Weather Service. The models, they weren't as heavy yesterday. They're a little more today. 50 to 80% that this exceeds warning criteria, which is over 4 inches. You notice how it's only 10-30% that it exceeds it in Washington and Madison County. But there's a look at, what's called the freezing or the probability of exceeding warning criteria, and this is strictly for snowfall. This is only going to be snow. So if we go to the winter storm severity index, we can do that as well. Let's look at that. And I think we have minor impacts. Not sure we're up to moderate yet. Oh, we are in southwest Missouri, though.
That makes sense.
Okay, here we go. Zooming in. There you go. There's a great view.
Mm-hmm.
We'll throw on the county boundaries. There you go. So you can see it's kind of minor impacts. And if you're wondering what that says, let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see. So minor impacts is expect a few inconveniences, winter driving conditions, use caution while driving. Moderate impacts, expect disruptions to daily life. Hazardous driving conditions, closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. So there you go. And notice how there's that little bullseye in Delaware County, moderate impacts as well. Now, this changes with each hour, essentially, with model data.
Yeah, it changes a lot. So you always have to keep an eye on it. But I think that has a pretty good idea on things.
I think it does, too.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's look at the probability. I want to see the probability of greater than 4 inches because that just bumped up pretty quick. Let's see here. Probabilities always tend to be on the lower end, but this is through Monday night, 6 p.m., and you're looking at Southwest Missouri, the bullseye of the heaviest snow. And that makes sense with the track of the low. And then you got less 2 inches or greater. Probability is pretty good. I mean, the chance of snow anywhere is pretty good. But notice how it drops off dramatically. I don't think Mount Magazine sees much at all.
That's what we were talking about earlier, though, Dan. This is a boom or bust system. You see how tight those gradients are? I mean, it's so close. I mean, that system wobbles 20 or so miles more to the north or south, and that's going to make a huge difference. Nothing is set in stone here.
So accumulations, what do they think for Bella Vista, Josh? You in De Vista. What are you thinking in De Vista?
I mean, by the way, I love that new name for Bella Vista, Da Vista. I like that. Start using that from now on. For the Vista, I'd go 3 to 5.
I think 3 to 5 seems reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Bentonville
it's forecast.
And Rogers, I think we're going probably around 2 to 4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Decatur in the heavy band, no way to know for sure or not.
Yeah.
At this
TBD.
Point. Did y'all say Gorilla Flakes? I do think the Gorilla Flakes, yeah. So, Patty, this is funny. Springdale did not have a 123-mile-an-hour wind gust. But what I found out is that those numbers are actually manually inputted into the ASOS hourly. So you just add an extra 1, and you got 23 miles an hour that turned into 123.
I did not know those were put in by hand.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that. I thought it was.
I found out by calling the what used to be the airport manager of Springdale Municipal, and I have confirmed that they do enter the information.
That's awesome. I mean, I love that.
The only problem with that is that when the tower closes after 9, you don't get any data from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., which is why the lows sometimes are like 4, 5, 6 degrees warmer in Springdale when you look at the actual low temperature, because it might have occurred in early morning hours before 5 a.m.
Oh, so this is just a Springdale thing. This is not like Drakefield's automated, I'm assuming.
Automated, yeah.
Okay. That
19H. Okay, let's look at the 19Z HRRR because it goes out far enough now. So let's look at it here. Yeah, thanks for always keeping us on our toes, Josh. I love it. Let's go to, by the way, when you do that mostly unstable cape in wintertime, you can't really see it at all.
It's very light gray.
It's tough to see.
Yeah.
But it's there.
I need to.
All right, so let's go to snow depth. Might need to let them know about that.
Yeah, they need to change the color.
There needs to be a winter weather instability chart.
Winter weather instability index.
Oh yeah.
The SCOF index.
Yeah. Look at this. So this is the newest one. It actually does have, and there's that banding again. So now it's got the banding setting up over Washington and western Carroll County and eastern Benton County. So
it's going to do that.
It's no saying exactly who's going to get what. It's just going to be a boom or bust. Someone's going to get a lot of snow.
Yep. And I always tend to, when it comes to systems like this, Dan, when it comes to boom or bust forecast, I always tend to favor the higher terrain more at the end of the day. Even if the banding doesn't set up in the higher terrain, the process happens so much quicker. So the potential for heavier snowfall is much higher.
Yeah. I think that 4 a.m. should be okay. 4 a.m., I don't think the snow really starts piling up. Here's a look, too. There's 2 a.m., there's 3 a.m., there's 4 a.m. It really starts picking up after 4 a.m.
During that morning
commute, is slower and slower. What?
During that morning commute, right when everybody's out and about on the road.
And here's Patty saying, I haven't heard of pre-treatment yet. There's a good reason for that because it's raining right now. And then
There's no
Robert
point.
said it would get washed away.
Yeah, there's no point.
Why is thunder snow usually so heavy? Well, because thunder snow produces a lot of heavy precipitation, and that heavy precipitation will lead to faster snowfall rates. Just think about it raining harder in thunderstorms. It snows harder too.
Yeah. Same exact thing.
Yep. Warning has been upgraded in, you know what? I didn't look at that. Let's go ahead and we'll look at that real quick. So this is the winter storm warning that does include Boone and Newton County too. And it's for the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it right down here. Boone and Newton County is under the winter storm warning as well. And it goes all the way to, you can see that just west of Mountain Home. You've got Marion County that's also included in that.
I'm curious, Dan. I've seen a lot of comments because, remember, Tulsa doesn't include Boone and Newton County in their forecast. That's the Little Rock National Weather Service office. I know there's some folks asking about snowfall accumulation potential for Boone and Newton County. Do you know if Little Rock has a map out as well, maybe on their website?
Yeah, I bet they do. Let's go check it out. And by the way, I misspoke. I said Baxter. It's Marion County. That's because Marion is before Baxter from left to right. So let's see what they've got for forecast snow totals. So this is what they've got, which is a lot less than Tulsa. 2 to 3, 1 to 2 in Harrison. However, notice when this map was made, 4:44 a.m. This is before the totals have increased. So I think 3 to 4 is coming in.
Agreed.
Has the weight of the snow on roofs been a caution concern? Yes, but this is going to melt pretty darn fast, so I wouldn't worry about it. Can you bring up the radar? Yes, I can. Look at that. Bring up the radar here, and we'll show you what we got. Stand by. How was your workout, hun?
It was amazing.
Good.
I feel awesome.
Need to go have one too.
Mirror of Souls challenge?
Nah. No. Yeah, Alex, I'm bringing up the radar right now. It's coming up. Sometimes for winter weather, it's better to have a composite or a mosaic. And it's tough to do that at my house. So, here, I'm going to bring this up here. While I'm bringing that up, I'm going to look for that. This is probably one of the best winter mosaics. Yeah, there you go. Stand by. I'm bringing it up here. Whoops. Josh, he took off. He gone. Okay. Colby affected again.
It's not busting.
So this is the snowfall that's occurring. Look at the wraparound that's developing. So it's actually a pretty impressive wraparound. There's a look at the light snow, and that's going to be, look at how it's trying to transition to snow. But this is all essentially snow. And that is some really heavy snow. In fact, even some lightning that's occurring in southwest Oklahoma. Yep, they already got 2 inches in Lubbock from that.
It's a pretty healthy band right there developing, man.
Yeah, that is. And I think that's why the models have been trending up. So
yeah, and
I
here's
don't
the deal.
think it's pump fake. I really don't. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, let's answer some more questions, and I think we're going to shut it down.
Sir.
Seligman, 4 to 6, I think is a good bet for you. Oh wow, 12. That would be a real big overperformance.
Yeah,
I don't think you're getting 12.
I'd be stunned.
If the temperatures were 25, 30 degrees, I could say you could get 12, but not being at 34, 35. Thinking schools will be out? Yeah. I do tomorrow.
I agree.
Thunder snow. Yep, I think that's a possibility. Haha. Nelson's Hardware got the sleds. I love Nelson's Hardware. Yep. Open at
Best
7:30 a.m. This will be good sledding snow too, but you got to get out there fast. Got to buy the sleds fast. You got to get out there fast because it's going to be grass by the end of but probably by Tuesday.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, it does not look like the wraparound. Now, this is a much more intense storm, Alex. There's no doubt. The dynamics behind that. In fact, let's look at this. This is I was kind of bringing this up on the news the other night, Josh. I was talking about a top that's spun. You wrap the string around the top. That's what the system was doing. Is it was diving off the west coast, and if you have that string wrapped around the top, and then you flung it open. That's what's causing the spin in the atmosphere, and that's what essentially our system did.
Yeah, and it starts cranking up too.
Yeah.
Giving some more force behind it. Yeah, that previous system that happened earlier in the year, because I know we're making comparisons to it, and it is very similar. But that system, that was getting going over us, right? So we didn't have a very long period of time of that heavy snow, and it was in and out very quickly. This one is already getting going off to our west. So we're going to have all that convective banding potential. We're going to have a long period of time of snow.
Look at this. This is the vorticity map. This is all the spin that's coming. And there is a tremendous amount. That goes up to 42.
Holy cow. That's giga
Yeah, that's a lot.
There. Yeah.
That's a lot. And it's positive tilt, so it's slower.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rising motion, which is where we're going to be. We're going to have all that dynamic rising motion. If we look at the 700 millibar low, you can see the track of that system. It's definitely going to be focused just over northwest. Okay.
That's a lot of energy.
I don't understand the accumulations of temps are above freezing. I get that, Karen, because it's tricky. But the thing is that accumulation can occur because what happens is it just keeps piling up fast enough. And when it piles up fast enough, even though it's above freezing, you're cooling with snow on the ground, the roads, and then that just allows the snow to remain, and it's not melting on top of each other, because it would be when snow falls into water, it's gone. It melts. But when snow falls on top of other snow, and if it falls fast enough, it will do that. That allows it to pile up. But when it's a slower snow rate, then what that does is that just allows the snowflakes to melt immediately when it hits the ground. That's the reason why it's all about the rate at which it snows.
Yeah, and we have an interesting case study with that when it comes to your pool, at least with the ice.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Forget that. I forgot about that. All right, let's look at the snow accumulation map again. And remember, these aren't perfect. They're not exactly what's going to happen, but it gives you an idea. This is the National Weather Service out of Tulsa. So this is what they're saying. We haven't made our accumulation map yet. Zach's going to be doing that when he gets in. We'll probably bump it up a few inches here and there. But I would be hard-pressed if Fayetteville got 4 to 6. I just really would. I don't think that's happening. I think 2 to 3 looks more reasonable in Fayetteville just from looking at the track and the system. And the cutoff is going to be very quick. So there's 3 things that you need to know. Number 1, River Valley, forget it. You don't get a lot of snow. You will get some, but you won't get a lot just because of the track of the system. And that does play a role in the temperatures. It's going to be above freezing, and you won't have the dynamic cooling. You won't have the lift. You'll see rain. You might see a little bit of snow as the system wraps up. Farther north, you got the track of the low. You will see banding. Banding is very tough for modeling to depict. It's tough for it to predict. So it doesn't know exactly where that's going to develop. Therefore, we don't know exactly where that banding is going to occur. Marginal temperatures will limit accumulation potential, but not if it comes down heavier. So the timing of this, in case you're just hopping on, this is a great graphic that shows all that timing. Here's a look at it's after midnight, so Super Bowl parties are fine. Don't think there's a problem there. The later you get into the morning, the more you're going to see that snowfall start to accumulate. If you're driving to Amarillo, that's going to be tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough sledding right there.
Debbie, I don't think I will. Josh is going to be covering this in the morning, and Zach's got you covered at night. And yeah, my wife and I have basically a party for two here watching the Super Bowl at our house. So, and it doesn't happen while the Super Bowl is occurring. This happens in the morning hours. So I don't think I'll be in there.
Yeah, I'll have a weather live stream early tomorrow morning once the snow starts falling. And then, of course, you can on KNWA today.
Yeah, he'll have all that stuff. That's right.
Yeah.
And I got to cook some wings in a pressure cooker. We'll see how that works. Right, babe? Let's see how that works.
What's the sauce? What's the secret sauce?
Oh, it's going to be Dr. Spassato sauce. Dr. Spassato's barbecue. You can get it at the Ozark Natural Foods.
Okay. And it's barbecue sauce.
It is a good sauce. Yeah, we're going to make barbecue wings.
Woo. Cooking.
With some kickin' chicken Weber's seasoning. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It'll be good. All right. Well, any other questions? I'll let this go a few more minutes. And I know, Josh, you need to get.
I know. I mean, Brandon and Colby
are
they're just filling up my phone right now. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh.
Have they not seen the Facebook Live?
Do what?
Have they not seen you're doing a live update?
Well, Brandon has, so Colby must have seen it too. I think they're just joking with me. But I was going to ask about
I got one of your weather kids from a few years ago looking at the models with me, and Dylan says hi. Hey, Dylan. Good to see you. Love that you're still checking all that stuff out. That's awesome. Eureka Springs probably will get more snow, but that cutoff is going to be pretty swift northwest. But yes, I do believe that. Ho, the GOAT, Josh Rugger. Yes, sir.
Maybe the secondary GOAT under this guy right here.
No, GOAT's Gary England and James Spann, and yeah, you said can't even hold a candle.
But you're the walkabout GOAT. And that's the
only thing there you go.
That's the only thing that matters.
I told Alyssa she's got to play that walkabout around the world in 80 days in the Eiffel Tower.
Yes. So good, man. I love
that. Especially since she's going to Paris to cover the Olympics. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that does it. I will see you guys later. That wraps it up. A quick summary real fast. Snow starts overnight tonight around 4 a.m. Farther west you go, the earlier it is. The farther east you are, the later it is. Winter storm warning has been upgraded from a winter weather advisory. It goes from midnight tonight, which is for the northwestern portion of our weather coverage area, so northwestern Delaware County. And that's just in case it happens a little earlier. And it goes until 6 p.m. Monday. So the winter weather impacts will still be felt throughout the late morning into the afternoon. The reason that we went all of a sudden from a winter weather advisory to a winter storm warning is because of this. Pretty impressive system. There's a lot of energy. There's already a lot of precipitation that's popped up. Look at the banding, how it's developed. Hey, get off of there. Yeah, you can see it. And that's already into eastern New Mexico. So the models have shown that the system is more intense. The track is kind of very favorable for the heaviest snow. And it could be a fake punt.
Is the Super Bowl rigged?
A pump fake.
Was the Green Bay San Francisco game rigged? People are asking.
I think so.
I think it's scripted. The script.
There was a lot of bad calls, and the ref was just like immediately throwing the flag. I'm like, get that guy out of here. But, we'll see what happens.
You live tweeting during games is like must-see stuff. It's must-see stuff. It's amazing.
Well, anyways, that's it. So that covers everything. One last look at the snowfall accumulation. If you're just on here, there it is. If you live in northern Benton County, Josh, your family, Sulphur Springs, Gentry, Decatur, Gravette, those areas are going to potentially get some good snow. But the thing is, it's all going to be gone by Wednesday. It'll melt off. Most of it will be gone Tuesday morning, too, honestly.
Instagram.
A weird
Yeah.
snow. Yes, Thomas, I do think there's definitely a good chance that schools will have some issues. Now, Benton County more likely, Washington County, it's still debatable. We'll see. All right, we'll wrap it up with a Harper view. Harper.
Yes.
Hey, Harper.
Harper. Look. How much snow is the Vista getting tomorrow? She said,
A licking. You're going to take a licking.
you're going to take a licking in the Vista. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
You got
A
it.
couple inches. About three. You said about 4 to 5. Is that what you said?
I said 3. I think 3 to 5.
3 to 5. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with a little bit of a higher range just because I always lean more towards 3 to 4 with a system like this. But if the banding sets up, higher end.
Harrison, I think around 4.
Yeah.
The reason I don't go more than that is because the low as it's moving out, it's lifting northeast. So the track of that heavy swath will be through Southwest Missouri, Benton County, and then traveling northeast. All right, guys, I got to run. And I know you do too, Josh.
Yeah.
And if something dramatically changes with the 18Z data for the long ranges and the 0Zs, then maybe instead of the Usher halftime show, we'll do a quick snowfall update halftime show. Nah.
Yeah.
We
We say yeah to that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
Harper's
exactly.
attacking now. She's like, it's
All
time
right.
for the Super Bowl party.
We will see you guys later. Have fun. Enjoy the game. Be safe. And got to go cook those wings. We'll see how good they are. Later.
Elite.
All right. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Peace.